A lot of Nigerians have been speaking up in favor of the government securing the services of military contractors or mercenaries, as they're better known, ever since last Saturday's killing of farmers in Borno State by the Abubakar Shekau faction of Boko Haram. Those who are pushing this position have been quick to point out the rapid success recorded by the Goodluck Jonathan administration using this approach in the build-up to the 2015 general election. However, there's also a growing clamor on the other side of the divide for President Muhammadu Buhari and his under-pressure service chiefs to commit more resources to the deployment of military intelligence in the campaign. Which of the two is more likely to be effective, the superior firepower of the mercenaries or the guile of sleuths behind enemy lines? Joining us to look at all of this is Mike Ejiofor, a former director of the State Security Service and chairman, Chief Executive Officer, Apex Safety and Security Consultants. Welcome to the program, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. Well, very quickly, Tundu has already identified the issues. The security situation in the country remains disturbing. But as of this morning, the authorities are still saying that Boko Haram has been effectively degraded, that famous word. But what's your take on recent developments? And what should be the way forward? One, people are insisting again that the federal government should sack the service chiefs. Two, the House of Reps has summoned the President of Nigeria, and we're told that he will be there on Thursday to give account. And three, of course, there's the talk that Tundu alluded to about people saying the time has come now for us to re-engage private military contractors. How do private military contractors fit into this? You as a security person. Although the spokesperson for the Nigerian army is saying, well, it's not for them to decide. That's up to the government of Nigeria to decide. Those are the issues. What are your thoughts?
Well, thank you for having me once again. And I would like to say that the issue of changing of service chiefs have been overflowed. Governors, National Assembly, major stakeholders, ethnic and social groups have called for the sack of service for whatever reason. The president, on his side, has admitted that the service chiefs have done their best, but their best is not good enough. So I wouldn't be the only person out there not saying that the service chiefs should not be changed, because, well, you can't continue to do something the same way and expect a different result. It's only a madman that will continue to do certain things and begin to expect a different result. If only that can bring result, fine. But don't also forget that these service chiefs has been changed. The new ones will be brought from within the service. So if they come to operate within the same environment without basic and fundamental changes in terms of tactics, in terms of operations, we're still going back to square one. What do I mean? We're talking of service chiefs that have been there for upward of 5 years. Some of them have served for 35, 40 years, exceeded their terms. And you expect loyalty from the subordinates who will continue to retire while they remain in service. How would you feel as a head of family that your children will continue to die while you continue to enjoy life? I think it's better such a family or a father or a parent will take his life. The honorable thing on that part is for them to say, well, since there has been so much clamor and pressure on the people, we have to leave and give chance to the other people. I think that's the honorable thing to do. Then for the issue of hiring private security contractors, that's the term I like when you used it, instead of saying mercenaries. You see, in Nigeria, we like going the wrong way, progressing in error. You talk of mercenaries. Who is a mercenary? A mercenary is a soldier of fortune. somebody who is paid to do a job. You can't go to any country and take mercenaries without collaboration from the host country. And the United Nations has also outlawed this issue of mercenaries. So instead of doing the right thing, we are going the wrong way, trying to say we want to recruit mercenaries. Yes, we can call for assistance from other countries to come and help us, like we are getting aircraft. You also remember that we have serious challenge, especially from the United States, getting arms and ammunition from the United States because of the Leahy law promulgated in 1997, sponsored by Patrick Leahy, that countries that continue to violate human rights will not get arms from the United States. And since 1999, our government has not done anything to rectify this anomaly. And how do you rectify? A country is accused of abuse of human rights. Now, in 2014, Nigeria was still being accused by the United States of human rights abuses. Till date, what do we have? We've just witnessed answers over police brutality, and these are the things the American government is complaining about, that they cannot assist Nigeria. So we need to address those issues of human rights abuse before other countries can even come to assist us. At times, when we look at the issue of solving our problems in this country, our security challenges, you create more problems. 2 days ago, I understand that Nigeria has gone into military pact with China to assist us in getting, in quote, what we call mercenaries. And I ask, what experience does China have in terms of fighting terrorism? China is a closed society. They are not witness all these issues. They might have the technological advancement and equipment to sell to Nigeria, but how do they operate it? America is involved in fighting terrorism, and we are here only recently to witness the release of an American citizen by the Navy SEAL of the United States. So in those areas, I think we should be looking towards the West, the United States, for instance, instead of going to China, going to the East. Don't also forget the rivalry between America and China. So if we are leaning towards the East, the West definitely we will have some diplomatic problems. So the issue of, I'll continue to emphasize that, yes, we need collaboration, we need support, we need support of all these foreign countries. But the issue of using mercenaries, please, for God's sake, is not only abhorred. It should not even come into our lexicon. But we should collaborate with other countries to assist us in terms of fighting this war, because we cannot fight alone. We don't have the capacity to deal with the situation as it is. We spent 10 years, and we see a situation where people are still being killed on daily basis. You wake up, you look at your newspapers, 100 people have been killed in the Northeast, 43 people slaughtered. You go to the Southwest, a traditional land was just recently killed, kidnaps taking place. Go to Edo State, bandits have virtually taken over Auchi and Benin Auchi Road. In the Southeast, it's the same thing. So we have a lot of security challenges that need to be addressed. We can't continue this. We need to change tactics. We need to change our methods of approach to see if there could be any positive change in terms of fighting these our security challenges.
What's your perspective on the recent comments by former Cross River Governor Donald Duke on the subjects of intelligence? He said, he cited the DSS, he cited intelligence gathering arms of the police force, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and said they need to be properly motivated. But in the event of terrorist attacks like what we just all witnessed in Borno State, the Zabamari massacre, that they should be sanctioned for that, for those failures. What's your take?
Yeah, without being immodest, I wouldn't think that security intelligence is lacking in our operations. I must be honest to you. And what is greatly the challenge is implementation of intelligence gathered. You see that some of the implementers, for political reasons, decide not to implement some of such intelligence gathered. You were aware that intelligence was obtained and disseminated before the massacre in Borno State. So it's not the issue of intelligence. We are talking of political will to implement such intelligence gathered. And that's one of the regrets I have while serving in the State Security Service. And that is why, when I left, very few of us come out to speak. The SSS, for instance, the intelligence gathering body, is like a football team in Nigeria. You know Nigerians like football. Nobody appreciates what they do until there's a problem. And you begin to say, yes, it's as a result of intelligence failure, whereas the SSS on its own cannot come out to tell you this is exactly what they are doing. So from my own hindsight, I decided, I took it upon myself to say, no, we cannot continue like this. We need to educate, I personally need to educate the members of the police, the public, on their responsibilities in intelligence gathering and the functions and responsibilities of the State Security Service, for instance. So that's why I took up all this. So intelligence is not lacking, I must tell you that. But we need to, if you give intelligence that there's going to be attack and there's no capacity to handle such a, what do? It becomes a failure. So we have a lot of challenges. We need to rebuild and rejig our military architecture for us to succeed. Police is the lead agency in terms of maintenance of internal security. Nobody is talking about the police anymore. We are talking of military. What have they done? It is not the responsibility of the military. It's because the police is ill-equipped and very, very untrained to help in this fight. It's a challenge, and the government must address this because, first of all, it is also noted that the primary purpose of government is protection of life and property. So when we continue to witness this carnage going on in this country, it becomes a challenge, and the government must prioritize security to ensure that this country moves forward.
All right, Governor Babagana Zulum, we disagree with you. Police are still major stakeholders because the police has saved his life, and I'm sure we all saw that video when it went viral of how Boko Haram insurgents were shooting at him, and probably the police took the front line in saving his life as regards that, and that's why commendations are even given to members of SARS in the north for very gallant service. But I want to talk about the synergy. You raised a very important and a crucial point about intelligence gathering, political will. Could it be that, or could it be the synergy, really, across security apparatus over the states? On the last count, there are about 27 different security apparatus over the country, 27. But how well do they work? We all know it's a fight for power. We all know the military doesn't like to see the police eye for eye. We all know the NSAS protests, SARS as a unit came about when the military in the 90s had a fight with the police and policemen left the streets. So it's been constant brickbats. I would like to even put it to you, while you are the DSS, how easy was it for you to gather intelligence and send it to the theater command and it will be implemented? 27 different security apparatus over the country. But how can you tie all of them together to work in the interest of one country, the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Well, I'll start. You packed so many questions in one. Governor Zulum will not disagree with me because this is somebody I respect very much. I've never met him in person. But you can see that he takes responsibility, giving assurance to his people, taking the lead to, even with the military, accusing the military. You agree with me, just like I said, military is not very well equipped. So we can't continue to blame them until the government does the right thing. we'll continue to have this rigmarole of going around. And you asked me a personal question on political will. Luckily for me, I was a state director in about 8 states in this country. And I had disagreement. I don't want to begin to discuss that with some governors because of my insistence on doing the right thing. But for now, you see, the SSS is just an institution in the country. It cannot be taken out in isolation. Politicians now override their influence on most of the institutions. In terms of recruitment, some people will come. You see, the SSS has its challenge too. The SSS, for instance, in terms of recruitment, some politicians will insist or beg that they should be accommodated in terms of employment. And some of these people, without knowing the background and responsibilities of the SSS, for instance, are out there to say, well, perhaps one of the few infinitesimal aspects of the state security is VIP protection. But most people think that that is the main purpose of establishing the SSS. You just wear suit, wear glasses, dark glasses, and be following VIPs. And when you are recruited, you are posted to a local government. Senior officers being posted to local government. Fresh graduates. So that's where the SSS is very different. You post them to a local government. They say, no, we cannot work. You see, most of them living in droves because their earlier intention, their objective of coming to be protect VIPs have not been achieved. So we need to continue to educate people on the responsibilities of the State Security Service before you even go in to know, yes, these are the responsibilities. Intelligence gathering, that is the main purpose of the State Security Service, and not for VIP protection. VIP protection is just part of it. And in terms of collaboration and synergy, you agree with me that there is improvement. We are not there yet in terms of synergy. I'm aware and very conscious of the existing cordial relationship between the police and the SSS leadership for now. So these are agencies that are charged with maintenance of internal security. But within the military, you see this rivalry undermining of the authority because people who would have aspired professionally to be at the leadership position are being retired, whereas the senior ones continue to preside over them. It brings disloyalty. It brings sabotage among the services. So I think the government, I'm happy the president has accepted to visit the House of Representatives, where some of the questions could be raised, and he will address some of those issues and possibly tell Nigerians why he is still retaining these same people. Because he has a prerogative to appoint anybody he wants. He has a prerogative to fire, but not at the detriment of national security. So that's where I have problem. And with the issue of the leadership of the various armed forces, you know, there's a proverb in Igbo land that when a masquerade overstays his welcome in a dancing square, children will begin to throw stones and sand at it. Because you don't have that respect again. It's believed that the masquerade is a spirit, but when you begin to play with children, they know that you are no more a spirit. You are a human being just behind the scene. So children will begin, they have overstayed their welcome. And I have many of them, some of them as my friends, but we must tell the truth. We must speak truth to power in terms of maintaining of national security.
Well, let me ask you on this issue of intelligence, and it's good that you are an intelligence expert. Now, Major General John Enenche, in a recent interview, and that's the coordinator of the Defense Media Operations, he said that, look, communities in the northeastern part of the country prefer to give information to Boko Haram, and that they are very reluctant to provide information to the security agencies. A classical case of Stockholm Syndrome. What, in your assessment, will be responsible for this? that the people are identifying with their tormentors and they are not identifying with the security agencies that should help them? And what can be done to correct that situation?
Yeah, well, without speaking for the SSS, I've been out of service for 10 years, but I can tell you that in terms of proactive intelligence, the SSS has it. The Army, you know, the Army is not trained for intelligence gathering. Even though they have Nigeria Army Intelligence Corps, they procure military intelligence, not intelligence for civilian operations. So people might be afraid to come and volunteer information to the military, but they will have the confidence to deal more with the police and the state security service. So the point I'm making is that, but again, there's an inhibition. If you think of in terms of intelligence, volunteering of intelligence or information, so to speak, most people are afraid of Boko Haram insurgents. They are afraid that when they give out information, and it has happened so many times, when they give out information and their operations are thwarted, they go and raise down the community. So people become afraid. And their main objective and intention is to create fear and panic within the populace. Terrorist organizations world over, their intention is to create panic, create fear, and they are instilling that fear in the people, including the elected officers. Take a situation where you continue to attack the governor of a state. How do you explain that? It boils down again to capacity. We need to build the capacity of our military and our security agencies.
Well, thank you very much, Mike Ejiofor, for joining us on the morning show.